Hi viewers, how are you? Hope you are well. Today we are going to explain the movie Special Bodyguard 4. A guy who is beaten by everyone. What if he becomes a fearsome kung fu master to save his girlfriend? So without further ado, let's start the video. In the beginning of this story, we can see a boy named Lee. He lives in the village with his family. His family includes his parents, and 6 other brothers and sisters. Actually, since childhood Lee used to dive into the water, to help his parents catch fish, and sell them in the market. Moreover, he likes a girl from his village named Sawi. He waits in front of her house every day to see her, but Sawi's mother cannot tolerate him, because she thinks that he is an ordinary village boy who can do nothing in life. But one night a group of robbers came to the village of Sawi, and destroyed their village. Their leader was a man with red hair, who was very scary. He kidnaps the girls of the village and takes them with them. They not only rob the village, they completely destroy the village, but after seeing these, Sawi goes out to look for her mother, but it is too late, because a bandit kills her mother in front of her, and after seeing this, she starts shouting loudly. Actually she can't do anything but scream now. Yet she goes and attacks the robber, but to no avail as the robber knocks her unconscious. A little later, when she regains consciousness, she finds that she has been kidnapped by bandits. Actually the leader of bandits likes the girl, so he keep her with them. Meanwhile, when Lee wakes up in the middle of the night, and comes out, he sees something red coming from Sawi's village. He realizes there is a fire, so he starts running towards it, because he wants to save Sawi and her mother. But by the time he gets there, it's too late. He finds everyone dead, the village destroyed. Seeing this, he cries but still starts looking for Sawi and her mother, but he finds her mother dead, and Sawi is nowhere. He realizes that Sawi has been kidnapped, so he decides to save Sawi. The next morning, Lee leaves his family saying goodbye, because he believes Sawi is still alive. Lee started to advance through a forest road, where he had to cross many rivers, mountains and dangerous roads. He gets tired of walking, but there is nothing he can do, because he has to save Sawi at any cost. After a few days, Lee's food ran out, so he had to live by drinking river water, and he was so weary as he walked, that he could not go forward, for he had not eaten for a long time. After a little further in the forest, he finds a house, so he starts calling the people of the house, to ask them for food, but no one answers from the house. But he can't hold back. When he sees some food in front of him, he starts to eat, but after finishing the food, while he is drinking water, a man in a white suit comes and attacks him. Lee apologizes to him and says, "I have been hungry for a long time, so I couldn't handle the craving for food. Please forgive me." And after hearing his story, the old man forgives him, because Lee is out on a mission. But then Lee realizes that this old man is a terrible swordsman, because Lee can tell by his fighting style, so he starts begging him to teach him swordsmanship, as he wants to save his village from bandits. But the old man ignores his words, and closes the door. But later when he realizes that this boy won't leave his behind, he agrees to teach him swordsmanship. The next morning, Lee began learning kung fu from this old man, and after many days of learning, he became proficient in it. Actually this old man is a very skilled kung fu master. No one can touch him during a fight, but since he is teaching them to Lee, he is slowly understanding his techniques. Then when the student and the master have a fight, the master can't deal with the student, so the master realizes that his student has now become the master, so he is happy. So the old man rewards Lee with a flute and a medal, and Lee takes leave of his master and sets out on his old mission. A little later he goes to a market and tries to find Sawi, but he doesn't find her there, but he sees a thief running away with a girl's bag, so he follows him, and using the techniques he has learned so far catches him, and takes the bag from him, and gives it to the girl. Then he runs to the army headquarters, because now he wants to join the army, but unfortunately there is no recruitment now, so he has to wait. But then he sees some people in the village, looking intently at a notice, so he goes and checks it. He sees that the minister here has organized a fight. He will pay a lot of money to whoever can win there, but the rule of this fight is only one. There is a terrible sea robber named Hai Long, who comes to the village and commits robbery after a few days, and then escapes to the sea. The minister is worried about him, so he has given a notice that whoever can catch him will be rewarded with this money. But then a man came and tore the paper and left, so Lee started following him, and after a short distance he caught him and asked, "Why did you tore this paper?" Then he introduces himself. He says, "My name is Chen Long." Then Lee tells him, "If you want I can help you catch the robbers." Actually Lee wants to know better about the robber gang, because he is looking for a group of robbers who kidnapped his girlfriend. Lee promises him that, "I'll give you all the money in the reward. I won't take a single penny." So the man agrees, and they head out to track down the group of robbers, especially the one with the picture. The next morning, they come to see a ship, because they will go to the sea in this ship. But then a girl named Luxon recognizes Lee, because this girl is the girl whose bag was rescued by Lee. Seeing Lee worried, Luxon asks, "How can I help you? You seem so worried." Then his friend Shen says, "We want to know the sea ship routes, so we can catch Hai Long and take him to the minister." And luckily they got all the routes, because this girl had the routes, and the girl also told them which routes the pirates attacked the ship most. And after seeing these, Lee realizes which village the group of robbers might be in, and he takes leave of them, and goes towards that village. But before they go, they visit a factory, so they can make a sword for Chen. But Lee doesn't want a sword, relying on the flute given to him by his master. The next morning they come to the road of that village, but as they are tired from the journey, they go to a restaurant to rest and eat. But when they go inside they can see there is a commotion. The owner of the restaurant is also very busy. She asks her servants to cook a special meal, as some special guests will arrive shortly. After seeing these, they also get curious, and try to see who this special guest is. They can see that it is none other than Hai Long and his whole gang of robbers, and after seeing these, Shen is scared, and he decides to run away from here. But Lee is sitting here. He won't go. He goes and asks Hai Long where Sawi is, but after hearing this, Hai Long became very angry, and ordered his forces to attack Lee. But Lee couldn't fight them, because they were outnumbered, and when they were about to kill Lee, here comes Chen, because he decided to help Lee. They both started beating everyone. After that they caught Hai Long, and put a knife into his stomach, cut his head in two, and took the head to the minister as evidence. The minister is totally shocked after seeing this, and they did this to get the reward money. They have finally done what no one has been able to do yet, and when the minister realizes that they have done this, he brings them in for a party. And when they start drinking at night, they suddenly faint, because the minister poisoned their wine. Actually the minister did this because he no longer wanted to pay the amount he had promised to reward, so he brought them unconscious to a place, because he wanted to hand them over to the robbers. Then we find out that he has also started a deal with the robbers, because the robbers are also looking for Hai Long's killers, so the minister made a deal with them. He will give Hai Long's killers, and in return, they will never attack this village again. Thus he handles both sides. A little later, the new leader of the group caught them, and tied them to a lamppost, and started beating them. He stabbed them in the chest, but Sawi was watching from a distance, because now she is also a member of their group. But she could not bear this torture, so she decided to help them. So she saves them by lighting a fire here. She escapes with them herself, and after going to a safe place, Sawi bandages Lee's wounds, and after seeing Sawi, Lee is also very happy. Because Sawi is alive is a big thing for Lee, but they somehow don't want to leave the group of robbers, because they killed Sawi's mother, and killed many people in the village, so they start planning how to kill them. Lee then realizes that since they escaped, the bandits will attack their village, so they come to save the villagers. But when they ask the villagers to fight the robbers, they decide to run away in fear. But luckily a young man agrees to help them, so they all set some traps in the village streets, so that they can catch the robbers. The next morning, when the robbers came to attack the village, first many of the robbers were killed by walking into their trap, then the four of them attacked the robbers. But as the robbers were outnumbered, they could not keep up with the robbers despite their efforts, and when the robbers were about to kill them, the villagers came with sticks to face the robbers, and after seeing these, the robbers also got scared, and they started to run away, but everyone in the village caught them, and started beating them, and after such a fierce fight, Lee and his gang finally win, and start beating the leader of his bandits, and they also realized that, if they were united, helping each other, then the robbers or anyone else would not be able to do anything to them. With such a beautiful message, this entire movie ends here. Comment and let me know how you liked the video. If you like it, then give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. That's all for today. Bye bye.